What's up, design family, and welcome back to another episode of Fittdesign TV. So glad to have you guys back on the channel. On today's episode, we have an exciting topic to cover. We'll look at why sportswear as a category is such an exciting space for fashion entrepreneurs such as yourself to get into. I'll be going through my top 10 key reasons as a designer working with multiple brands over the last 5 years in terms of what I see allows sportswear entrepreneurs to get the edge when it comes to the fashion space. So if you're interested in starting your own sportswear brand or you've been on the fence, watch this episode. You guys are in for a good one. What's up, design family, and welcome to Fittdesign TV. So glad to have you here. On this channel, we discuss all things sports fashion, graphic design, manufacturing, and technology. We'll discuss key topics, answer pressing questions, and provide actionable steps on starting your own product line. If you're interested in any of the above topics, stick around. You're in for a good one. Number one, and starting off strong, is that sportswear as a fashion brand category allows you to bring a ton of comfort from your clothes to your wear. Why is this? It comes down to a bunch of different reasons. One is going to be the fit. A lot of sportswear fits allow for a relaxed, more easygoing, sort of laissez-faire aesthetic that you just don't get in other types of ready-to-wear and high fashion brands. At the same time, the types of fabrics used in sportswear have a lot of stretch. Whether it's using woven fabrics with four-way stretch, or it's using jersey fabrics with inherent stretch, or actually adding lycra or adding spandex to your fabrics to allow them to stretch, you're going to get a ton of comfort out of the clothes you wear. I love wearing these formal pieces, but at the same time, they are undoubtedly not going to be as comfortable as some super stretch compression sleeves or some super stretch lightweight cotton spandex t-shirts. So this is a major plus for users because it's not intimidating. It allows them to know that their clothing is going to be extremely comfortable day in, day out, and they're just going to be at peace knowing this, and this is going to get them to gravitate closer and closer to actually buying from your brand. Number two, and this is especially important for brands that are going to get into the fashion space as a purely online brand. One of the major reasons for most customer returns is that the sizing that they received is not as expected. So with sportswear, you actually eliminate a good proportion of that. Why? Well, because of the fits used, they tend to be more forgiving, right? They tend to be more forgiving in terms of the fit overall on the wear, and they also tend to cater to a wider range of body types. Whereas in a lot of high fashion or ready-to-wear apparel brands, you might notice that they use numbered sizing and they have a lot more specific sizing sets, right? Instead of it being small, medium, large, they might have 31, 32, 33. There's a good reason for that. It also comes down to the types of fabrics used. A lot of standard fashion brands or more high fashion brands tend to use woven fabrics that have far less stretch into them. Look at a piece like the one I'm wearing. Yes, it's fitted specifically to my body, but if it wasn't, if it was too tight, I would not be able to wear it. These clothes have zero to almost no inherent stretch in them versus sportswear, where you're using woven fabrics that have spandex and lycra, or they have four-way stretch, or they even have jersey fabrics that have an inherent stretch into them. You can rest assured as a customer that if you're a size small or a size medium in brand X, that you're going to be a size medium in brand Y. This is going to lead to fewer returns and people that are more willing to actually try the clothes sight unseen and take a chance on your brand. Number three is that sportswear as a fashion category has a lot of niches within it. Right? Sportswear is a family of different niches. You have your yoga niche, you have your cycling niche, you have your gym wear niche, you have your activewear, your athleisure niche. There is pretty much a taste for every type of niche. What this allows you is to creatively express your brand's unique vision and ultimately to find the customer that's specifically you for you. So I love the idea of niches because having a niche allows you to be hyper specific over who your target customer is. It allows you to get to know them better and to create products that are more curated specifically for that customer avatar, and at the same time, by being hyper specific, you're able to really stand out from the crowd. Imagine that within sportswear, you could paint all brands with the same brush. You wouldn't have a level of variety. This allows you to really stand out from the crowd and to offer things and unique selling points that your competitors just can't do, specifically because you're focusing on a niche. You just need to be able to keep a lookout on the industry and identify the niche that you find the most potential in and target it. Number 4, sportswear as a fashion brand category allows you to have a ton of flexibility across design, materials, cuts, trims, and a bunch of other details. Whereas in other types of fashion, there may be more rules and regulations and more sort of historical and traditional concepts that are attached to those specific brands or those specific fashion types. With sportswear, it's all fair game. Yes, at the end of the day, you want to stay trendy and you need to be able to follow the trends to a certain point, but you just have so much more flexibility to express yourself as a designer, to really identify with your customer, to create things that have never been seen before. Sportswear in general just has such a freedom and abundance of room for creativity. This is a major plus for any designer looking to make their mark in the industry and to truly offer something that is different and something that's different than what has been offered before. Number 5 is that sportswear as a fashion concept actually induces a mindset in your customers that's very conducive towards their overall well-being. Think about what sportswear says about you. If you're someone who is always active and you demand the same of your clothes, you demand that your clothes are able to enable that part of yourself. You put yourself into the mindset of, I am a healthy person, I'm an active person, I take pride in my appearance, I actually take pride in my physical health. This is what sportswear has the ability to induce in the wearer. Not only does it create that mindset, but it also perpetuates that mindset. It also has the added vanity approach of projecting out into the world the type of person you are, which depends on who you are. That may be part of how you want to showcase yourself. Number 6 is that sportswear as a fashion category is relatively affordable in terms of the price points when compared to other types of fashion segments. This makes it a lot easier for customers to get into the market segment. It makes it a lot less intimidating, and it just makes it so that people are more willing to try something that they haven't tried before, or more willing to try a fashion brand that they haven't tried before. Just think of a lot of high fashion brands. What you're getting in terms of the value proposition is way less than some of these sportswear pieces that you could be putting out. So sportswear will always have that advantage, especially to beginner brands that are trying to establish themselves in the market. Because they have lower costs, they can actually project lower prices onto their customers and get them hooked into the brand, and slowly over time design and develop a brand identity that matches what they're looking for. It doesn't mean that there is no room to create a luxury sportswear approach, but in general, your standard luxury sportswear brand will still have a much higher ROI and a much higher or much lower point of entry for your customers that is less intimidating than the likewise fashion brand segment. Number 7 is that sportswear is a versatile fashion style. When you think of fashion styles and the people that wear them, you may look at certain fashion segments and notice that there's a lack of versatility. For example, what I'm wearing. Sure, I may love to dress in a formal appearance, but I'm unable to wear this type of outfit at the gym or in other scenarios where this look may not be appropriate. On the flip side, some sportswear brands have actually been able to create and curate a very minimalistic, sharp, modern, professional approach that can be worn both in the office and out of the office. And honestly, in the past, I have actually worn sportswear extensively in the office and never felt out of place. So it all comes down to the personality of the person that you're trying to project. But in other fashion segments, you really can't do that. Sportswear has the ability to be extremely versatile and to function in a lot of different scenarios effortlessly. Number 8 is that as a consumer of sportswear, it's much easier and much more simple for you to keep up to date with these latest trends in this specific category than and when compared to like or other types of fashion categories. And why is this? There's 2 real reasons. Number 1 is that fashion trends when it comes to sportswear don't really change that drastically season on season. Whereas in ready-to-wear or high fashion brands, you really notice a drastic change from season to season, and this just comes down to the nature of the brands and the nature of the industries that they're in. At the same time, look at sportswear, and in the grand scheme of things, most fashion brands are not operating within this niche. So the trend setters in this space, in general, move a lot slower. On the flip side as well, when it comes to trends in the sportswear space, it's a lot easier to keep up with the trends, specifically because when they are implemented, keeping up with these specific details, the cues, everyone tends to gravitate towards these same things, and they tend to be a lot more approachable from a design and execution perspective than some of the high street fashion brands. Whereas you might see these crazy details on some of the luxury brands that you look up to. In sportswear, yes, you may have a lot of flexibility and a lot of creativity, but the overall trends are a lot more easy to keep up with and a lot easier to implement into your own brand. Number 9 is that sportswear pieces also tend to be more durable than their fast fashion or their regular fashion or their ready-to-wear fashion counterparts. Why is this? Number one is that sportswear needs to perform. It needs to be put into scenarios where it's going to be tested. So the construction of any strong and durable sportswear brand has to be at the highest level. What this does is it implements a sense of durability, sense of consistency, and a sense of reliability amongst your customers. The last thing you want is to be known for poor durability or poor construction. If you look at some of the top sportswear brands, pit up their pieces against some fast fashion pieces. It's night and day in terms of the type of seam work used, in terms of the type of finishing, in terms of the materials. They just have more durability. They will last longer. As a consumer, you can go into this segment and be confident that the piece that you buy, you'll be able to use season on season. Yes, you may not want to use it for a trend aesthetic or a trend reason, but you will still have the confidence that your compression t-shirt from this season, you'll be able to use for years and years to come if you maintain it correctly. Number 10, and last but definitely not least on the list, is that sportswear pieces always present better seasonal performance. Whether it's in the winter season and you need something to prevent and protect against the climate, against the rain, against the wind, the types of materials used, the design aesthetics, the details, the cues, all of these are conducive towards protecting the user from the elements, whether it's creating a water repellent or waterproof surface finish on your windbreaker that allows your garment to break the wind and to protect against the rain. On the flip side, in these summer seasons when it's much hotter and you're sweating and you want a garment that is going to be lightweight, silky smooth, and cool to the touch, anti-odor, because when you sweat, you want to remain fresh all day long. Sportswear as a category is able to give you that. This is not something that other fashion categories can actually achieve. It just does not fit into the hypothesis of what it means to make a ready-to-wear line or a fast fashion or even a high fashion line. So bear that in mind and definitely use that to your advantage. You're able to create clothes that are going to enhance people's lives in the extreme seasons of the year. Well guys, that is it. That is a wrap on this episode. That's been my top 10 reasons why you need to get into the sportswear space as a fashion entrepreneur. Let me know which of the 10 reasons you guys agree with the most, and let me know if I'm missing any key points that you actually believe are drawing reasons as to why you're specifically interested in building your own sportswear brand. If you guys are interested in booking a one-on-one consultation with me and you want to discuss starting your own brand, or you want to scale and get to the next level, I can definitely help you out with that with tailor-made business solutions. I've been working in the field for the last 5 years, and honestly, I've amassed a ton of knowledge that I believe can be very, very helpful to your specific use case scenario. So check the link in the description. I hold limited slots every single week, and I'm pretty much booked out for the next week. So check them out if you want to speak very soon, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Fittdesign TV. Until next week's episode, stay awesome.